Um, all right. Also, we're going to get to Dansby Swanson coming up here later on after Shovels of Wisdom. Some interesting notes from Alex Anthopoulos. But as the Falcons get set to take on this weekend, the Baltimore Ravens, make sure you check out Locked On Falcons. Make it your first listen every single day. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast. Biggest stories of the day, instant reactions, big game recaps, plus the take of the day. It's available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Okay. National Signing Day was yesterday. And it was a very, very good day for Georgia as expected. They finished with the number 2 overall class, right behind Alabama, who had the number 1 overall class. And running down the top 10, Texas finished in 3rd, Miami in 4th, Ohio State 5th, LSU 6th, Oregon 7th, Oklahoma 8th, Notre Dame 9th, and Tennessee 10th. Those were your top 10. Now, Alabama, obviously the biggest winners. Look, Alabama lost, I think it was 19 people in the transfer portal. They landed 27 recruits, 26 are 4 stars or higher. That's insane. They got 5 6-star recruits as well. They held on to the number 1 safety in the nation, landed the number 1 edge rusher in the country, and flipped the number 1 offensive tackle from Iowa. So Nick Saban locks and reloads. Georgia does exactly what Georgia does. They flipped running back Kyron Jones from NC State. They got edge rusher Damian Wilson out of Florida. Kirby Smart had everything locked up where he wanted it to be by about noon yesterday. And that's, it says to you kind of what he's done at Georgia and what he's built, because he's able to make it that seamless to get these guys in and quickly on to 24. See ya, done. So, yeah, it's very much a machine at Georgia that doesn't look like it's slowing down. One of the next biggest winners, honestly, was Kirby Smart's former understudy in Dan Lanning. He had a huge, huge day. He lost blue chip quarterback prospect Dante Moore at the beginning of the week, but what a rally he put together. Got a 5-star edge rusher in Mateo Uiagalelei. Same sound familiar? Yeah. 5-star safety Peyton Bowen, flipped from Notre Dame. And then he took another one from Notre Dame by getting running back Jaden Lamar. He also got Baylor quarterback commit Austin Navasad and LSU cornerback Dalen Austin. I mean, he is building Georgia East. It's really what he's doing. That team, I'm telling, that team next year is going to be a juggernaut in the Pac-12. Like to the point where USC and UCLA might be glad that they left, because what Dan Lanning is building is just incredible. And Bo Nix is coming back. That's going to be a team that has legitimate college football playoff aspirations heading into next season. And if he wins the Pac-12 as much as and easily as I think he could next year, yeah, it's going to be very much an interesting thing to watch how quickly that thing grows. Auburn had a good day as well. But you look at Texas too. Now that they have Arch Manning, that could be very interesting to see how they do. And Texas now heading to the SEC. It's going to be a fun watch for all this stuff. Again, Notre Dame had a good class. I was kind of surprised at that, but they didn't sign a single 5-star recruit because they got them all stolen by Oregon. Yeah, what's also interesting too is that when you look at the landscape of what happened yesterday, LSU got better. Brian Kelly got more. Like I said, Auburn too had a good day. Tennessee was still there. Like the SEC continues to just roll. And Miami might have been one of the bigger surprises. But here's the thing. Mario Cristobal can recruit. He was able to do it at Oregon. Look at the team that Dan Lanning took over. It's not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. But still, again, I look at the rankings and I see where teams are, and you can tell the teams that are doing it right. Remember, guys, there is an actual formula of where you have to finish in your recruiting class every year to basically eliminate yourself from the college football playoff. If you don't finish at a certain ranking, you won't make the college football playoff, period. You're automatically eliminated. Blue chip, whatever. I forget the ranking system that they have, but They put it together every year, and they've been tracking it. And all the teams that get a grade of X have made the college football playoff, and all the teams that don't get a grade of X fail to make the college football playoff. So recruiting, obviously, the lifeblood, and NIL started to change a lot of this stuff too. Um, even if it's already sort of been there in a different way. I mean, it's now just more in your face that an NIL deal could flip a recruit. Before it was boosters doing it under the table. We've kind of all known this has happened for a while. Whatever. I don't think anybody really cares one way or another. But um, now that you have NIL, it sort of changes the game a little bit. And here's the other thing too. And remember this about recruiting. Georgia didn't get a quarterback this year, and I would argue they don't need one. With the transfer portal out there, it's so much easier to go get a college-made quarterback already. We talked about this with the NFL. Same thing with Falcons. Desmond Ritter. Yeah, on yesterday's show, looking at all the guys who are already in the NFL who could be a backfill option theoretically for the Falcons. Why? Because you already would rather have the ready-made quarterback. So if you don't have them, just go get one from another school. It's really simple. Like you don't have to overthink it. I mean, we see quarterbacks transferring all over the place, and it's no big deal anymore. By the way, speaking of which, um, I can't believe Florida got Matt Gertz from, or Graham Mertz, Matt Gertz, Graham Mertz from Wisconsin. Mertz is terrible. He's not a very good quarterback. If you've watched Wisconsin's offense, he's not very. I was kind of surprised to see Florida did that. That was one that was like, oh, hey, Florida, good job. Not. So, yeah, I mean, whatever. You do you, Florida. That's why they didn't finish in the top 10, too. But we digress. All right, I want to get to Alex Anthopoulos' interview with Jeff Schultz of The Athletic and the Carlos Correa signing, and how it's reverberated with the Braves here. But first, a word from our friends at Built Bar. If you haven't tried Built Bar Puffs yet, you're depriving your life of one of its greatest joys. They have a new flavor, cookie dough chunk. It's delicious, it's indulgent, and it is covered in 100% real chocolate with real chunks of cookie dough. Guys, these things are delicious. Not only are they delicious, they're good for you. Only 160 calories, a whopping 15 grams of protein. What you do is you go get a box of Built Bar Puffs cookie dough chunk, and maybe you hide it away from the kids and the family, or you put it in your office, or you take Built Bars on the go. You have a snack in between meals, maybe late at night. That's what Built Bar is perfect for doing. They make great tasting bars, and they are delicious as well and healthy for you. Again, go to built.com. Use the promo code Locked On 15. You'll get 15% off your first order of Built Bar Puffs, cookie dough chunk, or any other order for that matter. Locked On 15 is the code at built.com to get 15% off your first order.